इंडो पैसिफिक केवल दो महासागरों का संगम नहीं है। यह भारत और ऑस्ट्रेलिया जैसे लाइक माइंडेड डेमोक्रेसीज के शेयर्ड एस्पिरेशंस का भी प्रतीक है। रक्षा और सुरक्षा में सहयोग बढ़ाने के लिए आज हमने एक महत्वपूर्ण जॉइंट डिक्लेरेशन जारी की है। भारत ऑस्ट्रेलिया डिफेंस इनोवेशन कॉरिडोर से हम डिफेंस स्टार्टअप्स और इंडस्ट्रीज को जोड़ने पर काम करेंगे।
Today we can confirm the signing of the administrative arrangement to enable uranium exports to India for peaceful purposes under the 2015 Australia-India Nuclear Cooperation Agreement.
Prime Minister Modi is on a visit down under, and Australia hasn't just rolled out a red carpet. It's rolling out uranium, warships, and detailed defense cooperation plans. Besides a commercial uranium supply deal, Prime Minister Modi and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese have signed a new joint declaration on defense and security cooperation. The declaration commits both countries to an accelerated, advanced, and integrated defense partnership. This is no longer just about diplomacy. It is about military logistics, joint exercises, critical minerals, and coordinated maritime operations. The message is becoming clearer with every summit. The Indo-Pacific balance is changing, and PM Modi's Australia visit may be the most strategically loaded one yet. But how significant is this new India-Australia axis? Why is Australia opening up its uranium reserves to India now? What does this maritime pact actually track? And is this quietly becoming the sharpest edge of India's China strategy? Let's break this down. India and Australia are set to finalize a commercial uranium supply agreement built on a civil nuclear pact the two countries signed back in 2014. Here's the striking part. In more than a decade since that pact, Australia has shipped uranium to India exactly once, back in 2017. Australia holds the world's largest uranium reserves, close to a third of the global total. For India, this deal isn't just symbolic. It directly supports India's target of reaching 100 gigawatts of nuclear power capacity by 2047 and lines up with India's new Shanti Act, which is overhauling the country's domestic nuclear sector. This is India diversifying its nuclear fuel supply at a time when leaning too heavily on any single supplier, especially Russia, carries its own risks. PM Modi and Anthony Albanese have unveiled a new joint maritime security collaboration roadmap designed to sharpen collaborative maritime domain awareness across the Indian Ocean and the Pacific. This builds on something that already exists, the 2021 Mutual Logistics Support Agreement, which lets Indian and Australian warships refuel, resupply, and access each other's naval bases. That agreement turns two separate navies into something closer to one operating network, at least logistically. Australia's P-8A Poseidon, a long-range maritime patrol aircraft built for hunting submarines and tracking ships, has been flying in exercise Malabar, the Quad's premier naval drill involving India, the US, Japan, and Australia. Australia rejoined Malabar in 2020, and 2025 marked the fifth straight year all four Quad nations trained together, this time out of Guam, with Australia's frigate HMAS Ballarat and its P-8A taking part directly alongside Indian naval assets. On top of Malabar, India and Australia run their own dedicated bilateral naval exercise, ausindex, right after it. Put simply, this isn't occasional cooperation anymore. It's a growing pattern of interoperability, the kind that matters most in a crisis, when navies need to operate together without confusion. None of this exists in isolation. Layer the uranium deal, the maritime roadmap, the logistics pact, and the joint drills together, and a clear picture emerges. India and Australia are building overlapping capability across energy security, maritime surveillance, and naval readiness, all pointed at the same broad challenge: China's expanding presence across the Indian Ocean and the Pacific. Both countries share the same underlying anxiety. China's naval reach now extends well beyond its immediate coastline, and its two-ocean ambitions increasingly touch waters both India and Australia consider their own strategic backyard. This partnership is becoming much broader than defense. The two leaders agreed to strengthen cooperation on cybersecurity, critical technologies, artificial intelligence, defense, innovation, and resilient supply chains. Critical minerals have become another major pillar. Australia possesses some of the world's largest reserves of lithium, rare earths, and other strategic minerals. India needs those resources for electric vehicles, semiconductors, and defense manufacturing. Energy cooperation is also expanding. Australia confirmed long-term uranium supplies for India's civilian nuclear program, while both sides explored greater LNG cooperation to strengthen India's energy security. Taken together, these agreements reduce India's dependence on vulnerable supply chains while strengthening long-term strategic resilience. The India-Australia partnership cannot be viewed in isolation. Both countries are key members of the Quad, alongside the United States and Japan. For years, critics dismissed the Quad as little more than a diplomatic talking shop. But now, military interoperability is increasing. Japan has recently assured India to step up military exercises, maritime domain awareness, naval maintenance cooperation, and defense industrial collaboration. The first co-development project between India and Japan will help develop defense technologies and strengthen maritime security. The India-Australia Declaration adds another operational layer to this evolving architecture. Instead of creating a formal military alliance, Quad members are steadily building habits of cooperation that make coordinated responses far easier during regional crises. Indonesia gave PM Modi's tool its maritime gateway. Australia is now giving it teeth. Uranium for energy independence, a logistics pact for naval reach, joint aircraft, and warships already training together, and a trade relationship growing fast enough to sustain all of it. For India, this marks another step towards becoming a leading maritime power in the Indo-Pacific. But the real question isn't whether this is about China. The real question is how far India and Australia are willing to take this axis, and whether uranium shipments and joint petrol flights today are quietly laying the groundwork for something that looks a lot more like a standing alliance tomorrow.